everybody, and welcome to Late Night News with GoIndieNow. Our maiden voyage, our first episode. Super excited to be here. Super glad to have you all joining us. Thank you so much for being here. And we're real excited about the show tonight. We've got a lot of news to cover, a lot of great things to cover. I'm Joe Compton, and this is...
I'm Katie Salidas.
And so we're going to be talking all of the news that is out there and around. But shall we just get right to it, Miss Salidas?
Let's do it. Let's jump in. So our top story for tonight is the continuing saga of Audiblegate. So for those who aren't aware, Audible not only allows, but they also promote exchanging books as a feature of membership to their subscribers. And what that means is for up to 365 days, you can return a book for any reason, no questions asked. How many books can you listen to in 365 days? That's quite a bit. And you know what? We're not even talking about the legitimate returns. We're talking about the illegitimate returns, the ones that Audible says is not happening. But this is where Audiblegate comes from. You see, when somebody takes those returns, when they exchange the book, what they're doing is pulling back a sale. And when you pull back a sale, you're pulling back the royalties that the author and the narrator, the rights holders for this book, should be getting paid for. So they're not getting paid. Audible's pocketing everything, and they're letting their users just continue to cycle through as many books as possible, which is more of a lending library than an actual sales platform, which is what we contracted with them for. So how many are being returned? There's the sticky part. Audible doesn't give us any information on the sales versus returns. All we see is a net number at the end. Without being able to quantify how many books are being sold versus how many returns, we don't know. We can't give accurate numbers. Without transparency, without the way to verify any of this, we have nothing to fight with. So Audible is saying, oh, don't worry about it. No one's abusing the system. But with authors unable to verify this, it's become the biggest issue. Now, a couple of very inspirational authors have taken to screenshotting their books and their sales every single day. And from their tracking, just by doing this on a day-to-day basis, seeing the sales numbers go up, down, or what have you, they're seeing between 15 and 50% of their books that are unaccounted for. That's a huge number. That means authors and rights holders are not being paid, while Audible or ACX is just taking that money and pocketing it. So it's a really big issue, and author Susan May was the one who brought this up. She started the campaign back in the end of October, and she's got a Facebook group called the Fair Deal for Rights Holders and Narrators that everyone needs to go and take a look at. They have continuing following stories, any reporting, any emails from ACX. Everything is kind of being basically gathered at that spot. And Susan has gotten not only the authors involved, but they have about 10 plus international author guilds backing her right now. So we've got some really big names that are trying to join us in this fight to get Audible, ACX, it's all an Amazon company, to get them all to create a fair distribution platform for us, to give us the rights, to give us the transparency, and to pay us for the books that we're paying to create. So one of the big author guilds out there, the Alliance of Independent Authors, the head for that one, Orna Ross, she was quoted as saying that she is in the fight. She wants ACX to cease the practices of clawing back payments from authors' accounts when the returns are received. This should never happen. This is coming out of authors' very low percentage earnings, and they need to make transparent the total number of purchases and returns that an author is getting in their payment dashboard. We need to see those numbers, not just a single net sales number. We need the sales, we need the returns, and we need to know why too. This no questions asked policy doesn't help anybody. So Audible responded on November 25th initially by saying that they were going to reduce the 65-day return period down to 7. And while that does sound like it's a concession, the policy number 1 starts January 1st. So it doesn't even apply during the holiday season when you're going to see a lot of these sales coming in or going out. Now, Audible claims that this is not being abused, that this is an extremely rare circumstance, but the authors who have been tracking this are seeing huge numbers. Now, Audible's also generously offered that to show their appreciation during the month of December, they're going to add an additional 5% to your royalties. That really sounds wonderful. Thank you, Scrooge McBezos, but 5% of nothing is still nothing. The bottom line is Audible's response is not good enough. We need transparency. We need to see the true numbers. And I'm sorry, but 7 days for somebody who's listening to books, that is more than enough to take and return that book and continue the process that they're doing. Now, to top that all off, if you go to Susan May's blog, she actually has a really good write-up that includes a lot of the math that, let's face it, I'm an author. I'm not a numbers person. It's probably why ACX got away with this for so long. But there's some math that actually outlines how this policy doesn't affect ACX at all. They're still pocketing the money either way. In fact, it might actually give them a leg up. So we're still dealing with a policy and a company that's not going to give us fair distribution rights and payments. So we really need to join the fight. One of the big ways that you can join the fight is by going to the Authors Guild and filling out the petition that they've got going right now. As many names as we can get will help this. We need a large number of us behind this. Everybody talking or shouting in one voice. Maybe we can make Amazon see, and we can get some real change happening. So fingers crossed on that, but definitely sign up if you can. And if you don't want to sign the petition, at least share it. Raising awareness helps too. Now, one last thing that I should mention, and this may just be a coincidence. I'm not going to say anything official, but a lot of the members in the FAIR groups for rights holders on Facebook have been reporting lately that ACX has sent messages to them saying that they are having their accounts either suspended or shut down for suspicious free trial activity. Now, when an author posts their book up through ACX to be in the Audible distribution platform, they don't have any further control after that. They don't control prices. They don't control where it's at. They can't control sales. That's it. So the suspicious activity, I have to really wonder, what could they possibly be doing? Again, I'm not going to call it a coincidence. I'm not going to say they're doing it on purpose to pay back authors who are trying to raise awareness, but it really does seem fishy. So as more things happen, we will definitely let you know, but that's the news up to date right now on the Audiblegate issue.
And the thing about the whole system, I mean, right off the bat, we get paid so little in the royalty department to begin with. But, you know, also between the time that Christmas happens or, you know, the holiday season happens and the time that the new year approaches is Amazon's busiest return weeks of the years. You know, from the end of the 2020 to the beginning of 2021, those 2 weeks to 3 weeks, they have more returns per capita of anything, of all things, just not just books, but so that on top of that, you're asking a very limited staff who's already probably limited because of the pandemic to vet and keep track of the 7-day return policies and things like that when you're faced with probably you walk into work at 5 a.m, 3,000 returns that you're going to have to process to, you know, 7,000 returns throughout the rest of the day and keep track of this. And we've also seen on those Facebook groups and blogs that we were talking about that the some authors have tested the theory of 7 days, and there's been 30-day claims, there's been 25-day claims, and Audible, you know, Amazon is a good customer service company. You know, to be fair, they have a really, really good customer service. They take care of their customer when you call them. You have to call them to do that, but you know, their internal customer, you know, that's a different story, but their external customers, they usually take really good care of, and they usually, you know, abide by the retail policy, which is the customer is always right. So they're willing to bend their policies and turn their policies down. Now, if that is the case, and you have somebody who has an ACX account downloading their free one during this time period, which is 7 days, 7 days is going to pass here. Let's say they do it on the 1st. So on the 8th, and they say, you know what? Yeah, I know I'm past the 7 days, but do you mind if I return this book and do it 10 days later or 11 days later, I don't think ACX is going to turn them away. And this little caveat that they put in that little letter was January 1st was when they were going to enact the 7-day return policy and the payment. So they're going to still dock you between now and the 1st for those returns that go past 7 days.
It gets even worse. Like I said, check out Susan May's blog. She did an amazing write-up on it, and the math pans out to where this actually benefits ACX, the 7-day return window. Any return window that they come up with is going to benefit them overall because of the pot system that they use for some of their membership credits. So it's really interesting how it works out. And like I said, I'm not a numbers person. I'm a words person. And a lot of us authors are. And I think that's why Audible, ACX, Amazon, they're all the same. They got away with it for so long is we weren't looking at the numbers because we're not that great with numbers sometimes. But once you start really looking at it, it's wrong. It's just really wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And going from that terrible news story, we go from sad to happy. Somebody is out there listening to us, actually, and that would be our friends at Drafted Digital. Our next news story is covering something that has been, they've heard from their customer base, they've heard from their publishing base, they've heard from people who are in the business, and they've all had this feature that they've been requesting forever. They've not only of Drafted Digital, but of Amazon and other places, and Drafted Digital has put this into practice. They announced earlier this month that the payment splitting option for anything you want to put out there, whether it is a children's book, an anthology, whatever the case may be, is now enacted and available to you. Once you go through the process of uploading your book, the caveat to the payment splitting option is, of course, it can't go over 100%, which, I mean, the system's going to stop you if you go over 100% anyway. But also that you have to be signed up with a Drafted Digital account, so that because there's legal issues regarding that, you have to fill out the tax forms and all of those things. So to get the payments and process. So they require you to have a Drafted Digital account with all your, bells and whistles all taken care of. But that's a minor thing. It takes 5-10 minutes to fill out. It doesn't take very long. And, they set you up and you're there, and you only have to do it one time. But the coolest thing about, what is even cooler about this, and Mark Lefebvre has a great YouTube video, which I've posted the link to. We've also posted all the links to everything that we're talking about tonight. So whatever we've referenced, it's there in the description right now. But he has a great YouTube video on the tutorial on how this works. It's basically like a Google form. You set it up, you add people, you can adjust the percentages. It's really cool because you can adjust percentages accordingly. So if you're the publisher, obviously you're trying to get your money back first, so you can adjust it to a little bit higher rate, and then, adjust all of the contributors beyond that as according to whatever contracts you have set up. They're not going to be responsible for your contracts. So all that legalese you need to take care of on your own. They sent a confirmation to everybody that is added to that, and then the person then confirms that they're a part of this and that they're okay with the royalty, and it's just like a click of a button, and there you are. It's pretty set up. The coolest thing, though, Drafted Digital went above and beyond here, which is refreshing in our business. But they've split it to ebook and paperback, hardback, so you can have different royalties for each segment of your publishing business, for your ebook business, for your hardback and paperback business. And you can do it differently. You can have different people if you really wanted to. I think that's kind of weird, but for the same book, but whatever. You can do that. It's fully adjustable, and it's fully adjustable at all times. So if somebody, you do a second edition of the book and you've removed an author, or you remove somebody, or you had somebody do a new cover and you want to acknowledge them, you can take the old person out and put a new person in at all times. It's in perpetuity. It'll always be available for you to do that. It never locks it or sets it up. So this is a really, really good thing I think Drafted Digital is doing. I don't know if anybody has tried that, but it's pretty simple, and it's a really good. It's nice that somebody actually listened for once and
That is
heard
so
us.
useful. Like for charity anthologies, for holiday anthologies, for limited time runs on books, for small presses who don't want to have to worry about all the extra accounting that they have to do. That is such a useful tool, and kudos to Drafted Digital for nailing it. I mean, I can see that really making them a step above a lot of the other aggregators out there. So I'm kind of excited that if I'd had that years ago, I probably would have gone and taken Rising Sign Books into more of a small press than just being an a la carte publishing service.
Absolutely. Well, and as been our trend here on late night news, we go from good to bad to worse, to good or bad to good to worse. Katie unfortunately has some bad news for anybody out there who might really was looking forward to this event. Unfortunately, Katie, you want to share with everybody what you found out today?
Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but Book Expo, which is the largest publishing convention in the United States, they've been around since 1947, originally from the American Booksellers Association. The trade show will no longer come back. It is done in its current form. Originally, the convention was postponed from May to July because of the pandemic. Then ultimately, they decided to replace it with a 6-day virtual event. ReadPop, who is the manager of Book Expo, since at least the mid-90s, they said that there's just too much uncertainty surrounding the live events right now, and they're going to retire this as far as its current iteration goes. They're going to explore some other options. They want to be able to meet the community's needs, and they want to create a new fusion. The pandemic has really changed the way we look at things, but they're going to try and create a fusion of events where they're going to have some in person and some virtual. So there might be something better coming along in the future. But right now, retiring with them is also BookCon and the related Unbound show. There could be others to follow. ReadPop manages quite a few of the conventions out there. And they do plan on hosting other events in the future. Emerald City Comic-Con and Chicago Comic Entertainment Expo, C2E2. Those were moved from their usual spring spots down to December of 2021. So some of these events are being pushed back, but this one is done as of now. There is a Facebook group that you can find more information about. The BookCon Facebook group is going to be the location for readers to find book-related content, upcoming virtual metaverse events and information. So definitely check them out on Facebook to get more information on when events will be held. But at this time, I'm sorry, guys. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Another con bites the dust.
And I don't know how this worked out, but it seems like you're the bad news person today, and I'm the good news person. We'll
don't kill the messenger.
Yeah, we'll flip that next in our next show. I'll do all the bad news. But yeah. So here's a little. We'll filibuster here in a second about cons and the future of cons, because I think both Katie and I have a pretty strong opinion on this idea, but and we actually differ a little bit. But I did read today also about this article. Publisher Weekly has been really on top of all this. They've been following. They had a letter that their editor posted a letter about how sad he was about all this. But apparently the librarians are now trying to get together and make something happen that's similar. They're very upset and were very affected by this. Apparently, especially in the area, like the New York area and the areas where these places where they've hosted these events have really felt like the con leaving is going to hurt their business tremendously and hurt their overall opportunities immensely. So they're trying to get something going as well. Like Katie said, there's talk of hybriding or putting something online exclusively. And I know, Katie, you wanted to mention something about cons and their effect on us as authors and what they mean and what this means and what we're looking at, because what we're going to talk about after our break is an event that is near and dear to my heart, that is going to be kind of transitioning itself through, a hybrid model. So,
Well, the cons are the places to see and be seen. And a lot of this business is still, hand to mouth, it's actually going out there and selling your wares. It's talking to the people. It's being around other creatives. So the fact that the cons haven't been around this year, well, yes, we understand why. The fact that they haven't, it's affected a lot of us in the creative sphere. It's put a damper on the way that we create things, the way we feel, the inspiration level, because we're not getting that extra involvement that we look forward to. I personally look forward to cons every summer, and that's kind of my season to get out and meet people and talk to people and do panels and really sell my book and hear from readers and find out what they like. And I have missed it so much. So I'm really, really upset that cons are starting to go more virtual, because virtual is all right for right now because we have to use it. But that human element is not there. We need that human element.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And also, I'll add to that, in that this is those kind of things are very important for authors, just simply because it's a way to actually make money. You actually can make money doing these, and you can make more money doing this than you can just selling your books online, because if you can navigate yourself through the lexicons and all the, map out everything, you could literally, keep your overhead very low, because you can buy all your books at cost, and all you would need is gas money, basically. If you buy one, if you have one expense for a table, most places, most book festivals now have tables, but if you have to buy a tables, relatively $50, and that you can carry that around with you the whole way. And so there's really no reason why you can't make money at doing all these festivals if you're smart about strategically planning it out and mapping it out. So, and I get it. We want to explore other places, and it's kind of the mystique of going to, like, Hawaii or New York or North Carolina or whatever you want to do to go. And in that case, that's a little bit more, but still, you should be able to at least break even at that point. I mean, something doesn't always happen. I get it. It's not always the case. And I have had unsuccessful book festivals myself. But it is something that I think is very valuable in that respect, that we're missing right now. And I don't think you're selling as much on these virtual tours as you would be in person. And you don't get to interact with as many people either. I think there's that element of it as well, that people element that you were talking about.
That is huge. That is absolutely huge.
But I do believe that there is viability in the virtual scape of this. And I think that one of the things that what can happen with these cons, especially, is that you can reach an audience that can't afford to be there. That couldn't, or if you were an unaccepted author or something to that effect, you could go to this and still participate and be a part of it by virtually going to, and virtually it's usually a cheaper fee than actually physically going there too. They've been other than San Diego, they've been almost relatively free. There has been some charging ones, but it's really minimal in that respect. So I think there's validity to it becoming a hybrid model, and that it has it. I know that you don't share my sentiment on that.
No, I'm not going to say that the hybrid model isn't a bad option. I just don't want to see cons falling by the wayside because they take the online option as their option instead of still having the physical when we can get back to it.
Yeah. So, let's dip into some comments and questions here. If you take a look at what everybody's saying out there, we've got a good crowd going out there. Vanessa says Amazon is like that. They never publish any numbers. this would be great. It'd be a great win if we could band together enough to get Amazon to do something. It would be great.
And we are. That's the thing. In the history of being an indie, which, the name in itself tells you we're standalone. We don't have a huge voice. But in the history of being indie, this is probably the first time I think we have ever had so many big voices fighting for a single cause. And I'm absolutely so admiring of all of these guilds that are coming together and doing this. And every time I go onto Twitter and I look it up and I see more people putting their name behind it, it gives me hope that we might actually have a chance to get some really good distribution fairness among the big guys like Amazon, ACX, Audible.
Yeah. Two smart people having an open and passionate discussion about an important topic that they actively care about. Thank you. All right. Draft to Digital did it too. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's the chat. The link. We have the link in the description for everybody if you want to go check out that tutorial. It's really good. Mark's he's an excellent speaker, so he's very good at that. So it's great and simplifying process. Rebecca says she was playing with it earlier today. It looks pretty easy, and for small presses is a good thing. Yes. Properly leveraging data. Yeah. Give me your worst, Katie. And then she said, I lied. Take it back.
Never tell me to give you my worst.
Are you?
I'm the harbinger of bad news today.
Yeah. Was Book Expo ever in? Well, actually, the last story you're covering is actually good news. But was Book Expo ever on your radar?
New York is kind of expensive for me to get out to. If I lived on the East Coast, I probably would. But because I'm a West Coaster, I tend to try and hit most of the West Coast things.
Awesome. Multiverse did a great job. Yeah, that was a good con. That was a good virtual con. I enjoyed Multiverse for the most part. People are still hanging out there, going and hanging out with the hobbits. Yeah.
Was that a jab at me?
I used to be able to travel cheaply, $40 a night. Could we have cons in places with more fresh air? I agree with you, Kearney. We need some we need a month of Hawaii cons that we can all just like.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about con funk.
Oh yeah. Con drop is what happens in days after con, where you feel kind of sad and depressed because all the happy chemicals that get dumped into your system during the cons don't get replenished. Yeah, we can all stand alone and raise up our pitchforks. I think if cons survive financially, we won't ever lose the in-person one. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever go away. I just think that hybriding is a smart way to go. I mean, I think if you can make it work, I always felt like, back in the, it's kind of funny because I was just watching this G4 special. G4 came back for Thanksgiving and did a little special where they came back, and they were the first to really bring this to light. They came and covered San Diego, and they came and covered Expo 3, and I think there's validity in that, especially for a news organization. I think there's certainly something. I don't miss Dragon Con, all those people. We can socially distance all future cons. Kind of. Yeah.
Dragon Con's on my radar. I would like to do that one.
No, she's asking, she's answering your Hobbit question. No, Joshua and I met Hobbits at the con. They became friends and went and did escape room together. G4, I missed that channel. Yeah, they're coming back, Shane. I don't know if you've heard, but there's a certain WWE superstar that's bringing it back. Attack of the Show. Yeah, Olivia Wilde. She was on the special, by the way. So Olivia is it Olivia Munn? Maybe it's Olivia Munn. I don't know, but yeah. So I think thank you everybody for being here and participating. We really appreciate it. I am just as you can tell, I'm stalling because I'm trying to get this marketing tip up. So, but yeah, I've had some issues all day long with this thing, but
Murphy's Law, man, Murphy's Law.
Yeah, good old StreamYard. Well, I think it's just beyond time that I have to play it from sharing the screen. Sorry, everybody. I did not want to do this way, but it looks like that's the only way it's going to happen. So we'll do that and get that going here in a second. I know, first show, it'll be much smoother, I promise. But yeah, this is what happens sometimes. So, the only GoIndieNow folks I've met IRL because of cons, so I do have one. Thank you, sir. Yes, that's awesome. Which is hilarious when you realize both of them are giants. Yes.
Yep.
I definitely think having online content around before and after an in-person con is a great model. Yes, I agree. I think it's. I would be curious, Vanessa, if is that something you guys have discussed with Multiverse? Vanessa is part of the Multiverse part, so we will.
Hey guys.
All right, let me get this up and going here. I know you guys all can hear it. Sorry, but all right. Had to be something, right? Our first show, it had to be something.
That's a sign of good luck, though. Something's supposed to go wrong. Yep. First show, something's supposed to go wrong. Don't even worry about
it. So how are we doing so far? Everybody enjoying the show? We'd love to hear your comments about that. We appreciate it. But maybe, she says. All right. Yes, we do too. We're commenting about that affair, so yeah, we're real happy about it. Yeah,
I like cool.
that. Yeah. So, well, maybe we might get lucky here. Hang on. If we can hang on for a couple more minutes, we might be able to run it through our little system here and play it.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. If this is the worst that goes wrong, you're golden.
Hey, at least we had the news stories covered. See, we did our homework.
Yes, we did. And
Joe, you still have an extra to talk about.
I do. Yes, we have a story to go into. I wanted to save for after the marketing tip, but maybe I should just go ahead and do it, and then we'll go to the marketing tip last and come back. But it has Joe, Katie, and the new news that is explained. I love it. I'm enjoying it. I really appreciate the succinct summation of the Audiblegate.
Thank you.
There you go. That's all Katie. Katie's awesome at that stuff. All right. Well, why don't we just go into the next story, and then I'll see if it'll work from there. So for anybody who doesn't know, GoIndieNow has been fortunate enough to be a part of Slam Dance for the last couple of years. This will be an interesting, different one for sure. As I alluded to earlier, Slam Dance is going to a hybrid model, as is Sundance this year. Nothing will be taking place in Park City for Slam Dance. They actually are doing most of their film festival online. They announced earlier a couple days ago their lineup. They're going to have almost triple the amount of films that they've had in the past for this event, because they can do that, because they can run it virtually almost all day long. They are doing a very special event at the Joshua Tree for the filmmakers and a select few staff members, where they're going to, and they have a couple drive-in setups. I don't know how that's going to work now with the pandemic in California being virtually shut down. We'll see if by February that subsides a bit, but February 12th through the 25th is now the new date for Slam Dance. Slam Dance is, Vanessa is asking what it is. Slam Dance is the alternative festival to Sundance. Slam Dance is a film festival that was created by a group of filmmakers who did not get their film into Sundance because of the political, things around Sundance. So they decided to go up the street, literally up the hillside, just 100 yards or so, and run their own festival in the Treasure Mountain Inn at the top of Park City, Utah. And what they decided to do, because they were filmmakers and they were putting this together, is they decided that over the years they would make this like a fraternity or like a group where every time you got a film accepted, you then became a part of the staff. You get to be a part of the picking of the films. So every film is vetted and shown to filmmakers, and every film that gets decided and accepted in this film festival is accepted by the filmmakers who have come before it and have shown at Slamdance. So every time they add people to the list, more people get involved and more eclectic mix of films happen. And seemingly every year the trend never fails. There's always a trend that goes on in Park City. Last year it was documentary features. The year before it was episodic films. And Slamdance typically follows that. But Slamdance is known for helping younger filmmakers, first-timers, folks with lower budget films that, Sundance would kind of either not be able to accommodate because of their whatever lineups they're putting together, or because of the fact that it doesn't have a celebrity or it doesn't have, the glitz and glamour that's required a lot of times with Sundance. So Slamdance is one of those film festivals that's very near and dear to my heart as a filmmaker. I really love the way they put it together. It is well run. You can see a lot of the interviews we've done over the last few years on our channel, and I'm happy to announce, all the Slamdance films will have Q&As and have there'll be panel discussions going on, and GoIndieNow will be a part of all of that. We will be doing live Q&As ourselves with filmmakers. We will be doing panels for Slamdance, with Slamdance, and partnering with them. We become a part of the lexicon there, and we're very happy to do so. So I'm real excited about that. So we're going to be involved with Slamdance again this year. I've been holding on to that information for so long. I've been wanting so much badly to tell everybody, but yeah, we've been talking about it. And so we're going to be doing some things with Slamdance. So I'm real excited about that. I've also reached out to Sundance, and we'll see if we can get some of that going as well, doing some of the same things we'd be doing for Slamdance. They're going to be doing a hybrid model as well, where they've actually picked select locations where they'll screen films at. Not drive-ins, they'll be actual theaters, which I don't know how that's going to work out. But by February, I think people are thinking that it'd be a little bit better situation, but we'll see. I'm not so sure about that, but because it's still going to be winter time, really. But we'll see. We'll see how that all works out. You never know. This is for people who don't know, who aren't in the industry. Slamdance and Sundance are usually the trendsetter for the rest of the film festival year. They're the first film festivals out of the gate, and what they usually do is they usually provide a roadmap on how things are going to go and what the trend is going to be. Like I was mentioning a couple of years ago, it was episodics. Last year was documentary features, and all the film festivals followed suit. And a lot of Academy films, a lot of Independent Spirit Award films come from the Sundance mix and the Slamdance mix as well. They've actually tailored it to have more Slamdance involvement. So these are very, very important film festivals for filmmakers. And this is a very important notion that is going on now because of the hybrid model being what it is. They're doing it. I suspect you're going to see Cannes. You're going to see all of these film festivals follow the same trend and follow it the way that they're doing it, where they'll have special screenings and socially distanced screenings and drive-in screenings and then run it virtually, which is a big thing for all of you, because you get to experience at least what the film aspect of this is. You'll be able to, and they're going to be cheaper than what it would cost you to go to Park City and actually attend these film festivals. You can get a pass, pretty nice pass for the entirety of the film festival run. It's going to run for 2 weeks. They're going to have special screenings. So if you're in a specific area and the filmmakers from that specific area, they're going to have free screenings for that specific area. There's all kinds of really great things. I have the link to the announcement of the film festival and what they're doing. And I also have the link to all of the films that are listed that have been accepted and will be part of the Slamdance Film Festival. Go check all of those out. I think you'll really enjoy it. I think this is the year for an opportunity for any of you who have ever wanted to see what kind of films are going to set the bar for the rest of the year, see some real artistic, really good filmmaking and what it can be, especially in the indie sphere. I think this will be that opportunity. So definitely go and check that out and see if there's any films out there that you might be interested in. And let me know if there's a specific film that you're looking at that you see out there and you want me to make sure that I cover it. Give me the name and I'll do my best to put it out there. But I think that's going to be amazing, and we're real excited to be a part of that. So, alas, my last ditch effort did not succeed. So we're just going to share the screen. I apologize for the, whatever it is, but it is what it is, and just going to have to.
You tried.
So, but and I'll make sure the audio is working on this today. That damn little button in the left-hand corner, you little square, you. But here is CL Cannon's marketing tip for this month, and she'll be with us every month, and I promise you I will get this right eventually. All right, here we go.
Press bring you another monthly marketing tip. So the holidays are among us, and while for some authors that could be a sign to batten down the hatches and weather a dip in sales, it doesn't have to be a dry financial season. There are a few ways that you can take advantage of the holidays to leverage some extra sales. Okay, so one way is to run a holiday theme on your book. Now, you can do this by creating a graphic with a holiday background and a special sale price on your book or your series. Perhaps you have a series and you're doing a 99-cent sale on the first book, $2.99 on the second book, $3.99 on the third book. Perhaps you are just doing a sale on your debut book. It doesn't really matter how many books you have out. You can always do a holiday themed sale. I suggest going to somewhere like BookBrush because it's just so easy, and they have a lot of great templates that are already ready for you. You can search all kinds of different free stock photos, and they just make it really easy. Another site that a lot of people use is called Canva, and I think they also have a lot of templates and easy to use sort of pre-made things that you can do, and it's pretty user friendly, especially for those of you who don't have Photoshop skills. But anyways, basically, you run your sale and you advertise it on your page, in your newsletter and places like that. Another way to do this is to gather a group of authors, preferably authors that are in your genre. Gather yourselves together for a holiday sale or reader magnet giveaway on Story Origin or BookFunnel, and give yourselves some promo that way. Nice graphics attract more users, and more users means that your books are going to get shared more. So keep that in mind. Another thing that's really popular for this kind of part of the season is paperbacks. Holidays are perfect time for a paperback sale. They make great gifts. They can help you supplement a dip in ebook sales. You can host a paperback giveaway or offer a deal on like signed paperbacks bought directly from you or in certain quantities. Say they got the first book in your series and then they get books 2 and 3. Maybe you give them a discount on shipping, or maybe you throw in some swag. There's all kinds of little things that you can do. And especially you make more money if you are selling directly from the author, usually, than if you're selling on Barnes & Noble or on Amazon, because you're paying just for the printing costs and the shipping. You can actually usually kind of pad that into the shipping into your sales price, and you usually make a lot more money that way. Another thing that you can do, especially if you've got a website and a blog, is write holiday centric type of blog posts. You can talk about your characters and what they might do for the holidays, what books you enjoy during the holiday season when you were like a kid, what books are on your wish list and why. You can do a countdown listicle of your favorite holiday books or your favorite holiday scenes in books that you've read and enjoyed. And while you're at it, if there's like a scene in one of your books that's holiday themed, you can add that to the list. You'll be building sales and building SEO when you share this listicle and you tag other authors that are mentioned. And doing that is really important to get your article out there, because if it just sits on your blog, it's not going to really go anywhere. But if you tag other authors, it's kind of like an easy way for them to get publicity and you get publicity. All they have to do is click to tweet or to share, and their book's already in there. You've already done the heavy lifting for them. So they're usually more than happy to share for you. But anyway, those are just a few ways that you can leverage the holidays to get a nice return this season in your sales. But I also love to hear your own ideas. If you have any ideas for the holidays, let me know. As always, you can email me at info@fiction-atlas.com. If you have questions, you can message me there also. That's all for me this month. I'll see you next month. Stay safe.
There was the makeshift marketing tip for you all. It's a good tip. It's really nice.
He always has the best tips.
She's great, and I sincerely apologize to you, CL Cannon, for having to do it so badly there. But I appreciate that you had that for us. So everybody's saying big fan of Canva, love BookBrush. JD Estrada said, by the way, you got a hefty royalty on a book sale, retail $17.99, get 57 cents. Rebecca said, woohoo. The only holiday scene in one of my books is straight up traumatic. No happy holiday. Yeah, that might be hard to promote, but actually, who knows? But I have a whole piece of gum. Yes, you do, JD. Congratulations.
But can you walk while chewing it?
Oh, that's a great question. That's an excellent question. A JD question on top of that. So I'm sure he's going to answer you on that. But to close us out, Katie Salidas has one more good. She has a good story, everybody.
Good news. I get to give good news now. Yay!
She's about to put out a book, and she's going to tell you all about it right now. Take it away, Miss Salidas.
Why, thank you, sir. You know what? Writing a book is not simply putting words on the page. Okay, yes, it is literally putting words on the page. But to make a truly spectacular book, you've got to put down more than just a stream of consciousness. So what you need to do is you need to craft that unputdownable masterpiece. The one that you've been saying, oh, I'm going to do it eventually. Now's the time. You have no more excuses. In my new book, Write and Edit the Book, you will learn the crafting of scaffolding story structure. You're going to capitalize on plotting tips that, even a pantser can get behind. You're going to understand the 7 forms of conflict and how to apply them for maximum payoff. You're going to discover the secret sauce to creating compelling characters. I'm going to give you cheat sheets that are going to help you revise your story with flair, give you word swaps that are going to add sizzle to your scene, and show you how to employ simple self-editing practices that's going to make your copy editor absolutely love you. So you have no more excuses. Your readers are waiting. It's time to write and edit the damn book.
And that comes out on December 25th.
Just in time for those New Year's resolutions. So you have no excuses, people. 2021 is your year. You are going to publish your book. You can do this.
Yes. I should have written a Krampus short from his. He can walk in fantastic shirts while his socks while.
There you go. Fantastic socks. Yes.
But yes, everybody, it's all available for pre-order. Again, the link is in the description. You have no excuses that you can't find it. It's right there at the top. I put it right at the top, everybody. It's right there. You should be clicking on it as we're speaking. Get this book. I mean, well, pretty much everybody who's in here has already written a book, but you never know. You could always glean something. You always learn
There's
something.
a little something for everybody. There really is. Like I said, I've thrown in a lot of cheat sheets, and these are the ones I personally use when I write books. The things that I have learned to streamline my process to help me when I can't think of a word. There's tons of word swaps that will help you figure out that better word you should be using. So lots of fun little things that'll just kind of streamline the process, make it easier for you, and explains a lot of the stuff we get stuck on.
Danielle says, "Oh my goodness, plotting tips that even pantsers will like." That sounds wonderful. Rebecca says she will make all her new readers or new authors read this. That's awesome. The inserts in it are amazing, awesome. And Vanessa says, "Clicked." So there you go. Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa. That's awesome of you. I really appreciate that. All right. Well, I get around to here.
No, I really want this to be helpful. This comes from all the clients I've worked with over the last few years, 10 years of writing blogs on these topics. This is stuff that is time tested and helpful and works. So I'm hoping that it will help those people who've said, you know what, I want to write the book, but no more but. We're going to do it this year. You're going to write that book.
And along those lines, for anybody who would like an extension of Miss Katie Salidas, she does this wonderful show that we happen to be a part of, GoIndieNow, sponsoring the amazing Spilling Ink show, Saturday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and wherever you are, you can figure out at the in-between, 7, 6, it's pretty easy. Do the math.
No, we're authors. We don't do math.
That's true. Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific. There, I did it for everybody. 3 p.m. Hawaii time, I guess. But this week she has the awesome Jim Nettles and Elle BACHMAN joining the fray. So that'll be a really good conversation, if not a very fluid one.
We always have a good time.
It's a great show. I'm very honored to be associated with it, and I enjoy it tremendously, and I'm just was glad to be a part of it. So even my small little part of it. So,
Joe, we love you.
But anyway, go check that out, and then tomorrow also I'll be posting an Origins episode. I have a brand new Origins episode coming out tomorrow, which will be, if you're a fan of 90s rock music, if you like a fan of Toad the Wet Sprocket, Jimmy Eat World, Sugar Ray, bands like this, if you were a ska fan, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, there's a band out there called The Uninvited. They got an Atlantic Records contract. They were big. They toured big festivals, did big arena tours, and the frontman of that band, the co-frontman of that band, Mr. John Taylor, has transitioned. They were an indie band before they got signed, obviously, and then they went back to being an indie band after Atlantic Records dropped them. And he transitioned into being an indie author, and he's published a couple books now, and he is getting back into music. And we talk all about all of that on this show. John Taylor he's an amazing guy, fascinating, just a wonderfully joyful person, and it's a really great story, really great conversation. So go check that out. We also have our 3-act structure show up now. It's been up all day long today with this person. Let me figure this out. That person. I'll just go this way. But Miss Katie Salidas was a part of it. Vanessa, who's in the chat, was a part of it. I got together some great editing minds, and we talked about the first round of edits. I think it turned out pretty good. I think it's a really
awesome
good show. And so I really hope everybody goes and checks that out as well. That's up right now. And then Sunday, everybody. We are on fire on Sunday because not only do we always have This Week in Indies, which is noon Eastern time, and we're going to be talking about the draft to digital landscape and a little bit about some other things that have gone on. But I challenged everybody who's on the panel to go check that out, and so we'll report back. They'll report back about what they found and how they liked it and what they found about it. So that'll be on This Week in Indies on the roundtable. But the big news, the big deal, is an hour beforehand. The 10-Minute Drill 2 Championship will be decided on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, and yes, 8 a.m. Pacific. I expect all of my Pacific friends to be up and ready to go. Get some hot coffee in you. Even my Eastern friends, which I know this is a little early for a lot of people on a Sunday, but this is the moment. It'll be live. We will be playing it right in front of your eyes. So you will see the entire game at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I promise anybody who can't make it, who just can't get out of bed, Katie Salidas, who won't roll out of bed for me to come and be a part of it, see the show. And I don't blame her. And I'm not going to wake her up. She needs her sleep. We need her to get her sleep. But we will. I will make sure that there's no spoilers attached to it, so that nobody will be able to. You won't be able to tell who wins, so you can go back and watch it. And anybody who posts about the event, I will vet it out as best I can. Hopefully, I get it all. I mean, the 3 people that will maybe actually be watching in the morning, posting about it. But regardless, I will make sure that there's no spoilers. And if you do come and watch, please follow that. Please do not spoil it for the rest of everybody out there, because there will be people who will want to watch it after the fact. And on top of that, if you haven't already seen the semifinal rounds, which again, somebody here was a part of, I won't spoil who's in the championship for you right now. So you have till Sunday to find that information out if you don't already know. So you can go watch those 2 rounds and see who will be competing on Sunday. And after that, I can't promise that I'm not going to spoil the semifinal round. You've had enough time to watch those. That's been 3 weeks now. So get on it if you haven't.
I've been warned.
That is important to know for the Sunday morning. But 11 a.m. we begin. And then, of course, Monday night, we have our In Progress show, which is Julia Allen, our friend who does that show. She's going to have the great Jay Lavelle on, and we're going to talk. We're going to talk. Jay likes to talk, so we're going to have a really good time on that show. And so come and join us there. That's on our Facebook page, as is This Week in Indies. The 10-minute drill will be on YouTube, as will the Origins episode and the 3-act structure episode. With that being said, we've exhausted all the news that we're going to talk about today. Regine, 10-minute drill 2, Hermione dies. I like harassing people live. Yes. Can you harass? See, it's funny you say that, Rebecca, because Katie and I had this conversation last night. That's so funny about that. Yeah. Sunday. Yes. Live 10-minute drill. Yes. Did you have Christy on? On the editor panel, yes, we did. So that's awesome. Shane says he's looking forward to the John Taylor episode. It's an awesome one. So everybody go check that out. That's being said, this has been Late Night News with GoIndieNow. I thanks to my co-hosts for being here and doing a wonderful, wonderful job. We'll be back. We're going to be doing these monthly, we've decided. So the first Friday of every month, we will be back to do this show. And with 3 seconds left, Katie, take us out. Tell everybody, for the inaugural show, I'm giving you the honor of saying the magic words and taking us out. So
all right, guys. Thank you for watching. And remember, it's always time to go indie now.
With that.